Good evening, one. Good evening, all. How are we doing on this fine, very fine Monday evening? Gee, I look really bright. Gee, too bright. I look like a white face or something. Jeez. How are we doing, everyone? Hope we're doing really well and that your Mondays were good. Your Monday was a positive one. It was a fun one. Wasn't too bad coming off of the weekend here talking about round 15, some preview into round 15 into some of the matchups that are to come, as well as some potential trade-in options this week. It is just me again by myself. Big J yet again has got some commitments outside of the Supercoach community. In the real life world, he's got some commitments that he has to attend to. So it will just be me yet again. Hope you guys had a decent time just with me by ourselves yesterday. Anthony, what's good, my man? Haven't been here for... Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking. It's good to see you. Hope you've been keeping well. We've had an easy week this week as Bomber fans. We didn't have to worry about our team. I'm almost looking forward to this week. We get to play, so we get to have some action again. And hopefully we can get a good score out of our players, mate. Against Frio, they look vulnerable at the moment. West Coast Eagles Raw, how's it going? Happily Monday. Happily. That's good to know. Good to see. Someone's happy about Monday. Nice to see a West Coast Eagles Raw. Hey, Jen, how's it going? Thanks for coming up. No Kardashians. No, Kardashian is... That's the Thursday thing. Kardashian is a Thursday thing. He's in the car. Kardashian. I actually love it. That is my favorite nickname for Big J. Stuff Big J. Kardashian. The big Kardashian is so much better. Up the plains, 100%. Stress is back. I'm actually quietly optimistic for this week. They haven't been playing too hot shot. I guess a lot of it comes down to whether or not Sean Darcy gets named. If Sean Darcy doesn't play, then we're in for a good game, I reckon. Still can't believe 2.5 hours and Sicily's still going. But Sicily, mate, I can't. I honestly, it is ridiculous. The whole situation is a farce. It really is. But for me, I've just traded him out last week. I thought, stuff it. He's not getting off. There's no way. He had the arm held. The arm was pinned. Came down. He didn't let go. Came all the way. Head hit the ground. Player got concussed. Every single marker that the AFL is looking for, he's ticked all the boxes, unfortunately. So I wouldn't put my hopes up too high, Anthony, about that. 2097 didn't trade, but now the fun begins. Wait, that's really good. 2097, not any trades. I'm not looking to do any trades this week. I've already got... If Johnson gets up from his corky, then I've got 18 exactly playing this week, so I don't need to trade. 2097 is really good. Congratulations, mate. Theo, how's it going, man? Humphrey, Steele, Marshall out. In Golden, Walsh, Darcy, Cameron. I got 17. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm doing well, Theo, bro. Thanks so much for asking. Humphrey, you got 17. So Humphrey's playing this week. Steele and Marshall, all three of them are playing, and you haven't really added to 18. You haven't added anyone. You're trading out 3 players who are playing this week. So, yeah, that's not the way to get to 18. So, look, if you got Humphrey, I've got Humphrey. I think a lot of us have Humphrey. What's Humphrey's break-even? Humphrey's break-even's at 61. Playing at home against the Hawkers, I reckon there is a chance that Humphrey could have a really good score this week playing at home against the Hawkers. Steele is a big headache, and I wouldn't be quick to trade out Marshall just to get Grundy, mate. I reckon Darcy Cameron. If there's someone else that you can trade out to get Darcy Cameron, I wouldn't be trading out Marshall. I think Marshall is still a very fine ruckman. He was playing in the wet. In the last quarter, it was terrible. It was against a tough opposition, the Bink Nank. I think Nank got the better of him, especially in the wet, tough conditions. He's a big boy, big Nankervis, Toby Nankervis, and he was doing great in the hitouts. So I'd still keep the faith with Marshall. I wouldn't be quick to trade him out. If Rowan Marshall is the biggest of your concerns, then you're flying, Theo. I'd definitely say Steele. Yeah, Steele's a problem. I've still got him. We'll trade him next week. If got to 20. You got 20 playing? Jeez. Anthony, you're killing it, mate. Tone, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I can't show you. I can't. Why can't I collect anything? Something's going bizarre. James, thoughts on Matt Johnson playing? Bro, I really hope Matt Johnson gets up. He copped the corky. Every corky's different. Not all corkies are the same. And he was subbed out, so hopefully it allowed him to recover from his injury, from his corky a bit sooner to get up this week. When does he play? We play Saturday night. So, hopefully. Fingers crossed, mate. He's part of my 18. I need him to play. Anthony, gone Sink, Chincotta, Briggs, and Eddie Ford to Clary, Decam, and Windhager, and getting Ting, English, and Butters next week. Ooh. Anthony, he's trading out Briggs. You're hurting my feelings, bro. Briggs is the GOAT. But look, if it's to get Clary and Decam and Windhager, I said it 2 weeks ago. I'm a big fan of Windy. I think Windhager, he's really rated highly over there at St Kilda. I did put him as a must-have. If you're going to get someone cover to swing between mids and forwards, I definitely prefer Windhager over Fife. Look, those are great trades. Anthony, you're killing it, bro. You're killing it. Swizz! Oh, Swizz, mate. Big love to you, Swizz. Congrats on that epic win last week. Didn't get a chance to talk to you after that one. That was a great win against the Saints. Congratulations to the big Koch. That was a great win and great performance by him as well. I'm not against it, to be honest. I'm not against the new logo. It does look a bit dated. I'm not one that's necessarily a stickler for tradition. I mean, it's already had one logo change back from the old one to this one. So it's not like we've never had a logo change before. So I'm not against it. I'd love to have a see of what the potential new logo will look like. And if it looks better than this one, I'm all for it. But if not, then I'll say no. Keep it the way it is. Because our current logo looks pretty all right. I love the plane. Calm the plane. There got Briggs at R2. Good on you. That is alpha. That's alpha move, having Briggs at R2. I love it. Jen, I got 1967 last round and only doing one trade this week with Ford down to Harrison. Obviously, that will be team sheet dependent, but you're a Pies fan, Jen. You are, probably someone who might be in the know in terms of how confident you are that Harrison does play. But what's the news like? When's what's his face coming back? Elliott. When's Jamie Elliott coming back? I thought he was scheduled to come after the bye. So he's one to keep a close eye on, Jen, and upgrade to Wines next week. Yeah, Wines, mate. Swizz was on Wines a while ago. Swizz was really happy about that. I do have to apologize for having said about Wines. I don't think it will be a good M6. I got to apologize. He absolutely taught me a new one last week by going so huge. 130 plus, if you don't mind. So, look, yeah, it's fine. Getting Wines next week is very doable. Tone, Supercoach Doctor said Matt Johnson is all right. Well, I pray that he is correct. I really do. Sports Nut, how's it going, mate? Waiting on sick tonight till I make my trades. Oh, yeah, the Sis Dog is... He's the big one. There's always some sort of drama in the Supercoach community. I swear to God, there's never a dull moment with Supercoach. So I've got here the AFL website on this. If I look to the right, it's because I'm refreshing the AFL website, trying to see if there's any sort of updated news on that. Anthony, Briggs is the GOAT, but need English. I'm going to get cooked without him. Mate, I'm going to be cooked alive. I'm not going to have English. I don't have the trades to get him in. I'm going to be rocking Briggsy at R2. I'm going to be with that GOAT, mate. Rob, how's it going, Robbie? Clary in doubt. His hand is no good. Left training for treatment. I did read about that. And if he misses this week as well, nothing more tragic would have happened to people who held on to him. That would have been absolutely unbelievable. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. So because of that, I'm now thinking, do I trade him in next week? Am I ever going to go for Clary? Because he just seems to have one problem after another problem. If it's not a hamstring, it's a blister. If it's not a blister, it's an infection. If it's not an infection, it's injured hand. It's like, bruv, take it easy, mate. Get yourself healthy. Unbelievable. Eddie, which two do we trade out from Ford, Fife, Wardlaw, Humphrey, and Johnson? Wardlaw is someone that I think is very decent cover for the rest of the year. I think the guy is playing a contested style of game, which is obviously very Supercoach relevant. I know he didn't score very highly this week, but he had some pretty poor time on ground, and he was stuck on the bench at the beginning of every quarter, basically. So in the second half for like 6-7 minutes. So I wouldn't blame him for that, but he is still a gun player. Fife, I'm not a big fan of Fife. I've been not a fan since day one. I am not really happy about him. I think Windhager is a better selection. Humphrey is going to play this week, and he's still got a pretty low break even of 61. I reckon he's going to do really well playing at home against the Hawkers. Seems to be a favourable matchup for him. So I think he's going to score well. I reckon Ford and Fife are the two players. You could do Ford and Wardlaw if you've got a lot of... I don't know how many people you've got this week in this buy, whether or not you can field 18 or not. If trading out Ford and Fife or Ford and Johnson allows you, because to get 18 people at least, then I think those are the two that will go. Humphrey, I think, will be great cover. He can go mid forward for the rest of the year. I think he's a safer scorer than Fife, personally speaking. To be fair, I have 20 with MJ, Chessar, Sturt, and Marriage. Well, Marriage will play. Marriage will play. Sturt is likely to play. MJ, if the Supercoach doctor is correct, he should play as well. So, yeah, that's not too bad. At least you can have the top 18 people score and get their scores, whereas for most of us who have 18 tops, we got to take everybody. Jonas, the biggest fish of them all. Mate, I've already started reading this and I'm super excited. Jonas, I'm super excited that you're on. The biggest fish of them all, Dan McShark, suffered an infection in the finger, which will delay his return in the short term. Well, McShark is getting what he deserves, I suppose. He ate a wrong fish and now he's got an infection. I'm not sure. I guess that means we're going to see a bit more of the same from the split between Cox and Cameron. No spanner in the works as of yet, so we're going to keep seeing more of what we've already seen. Elliot should be back, but McStay will be out for another month. So yeah, if Elliot's going to be back, what does that mean for Harvey Harrison, Jen? Please let us know if he's going to keep his spot, because Elliott's playing small forward and Harrison also plays small forward. There's no way Bobby Hill's getting dropped. Glad I did hold... Oh, you're glad you held Oliver? Mate, it's very... Well, the thing is, what's been the blessing has been that it's been during the best 18 rounds, so you haven't really been feeling the sting as much. So that's pretty good. Congratulations. Hopefully he's back this week. Otherwise, you're going to be missing him for yet another week. I have 18 on field, 19 if I trade out for. Yeah, then let him go. Let him go. Sell the Ford, buy a Holden if you have to. Jonas, the Dockers said second-year midfielder Matthew Johnson was also expected to be available after he was substituted against the Giants with a hip pointer issue. I don't know why I've read that piece of news with a news anchor voice, but thanks very much, Jonas. That's excellent. The more I'm hearing about this, that he's going to be good, the happier I will be. He's playing at home. He should have a better performance. I think we will also be gaining some midfielders too, though. So, I think Darcy Parish will have a return this week if all things go proceeding to plan. West Coast Eagles rule, thinking forward to Marich and Chincotta to Titch. Thoughts? Titch, as in Mitchell. Interesting. No, not many people are thinking about Mitchell. So let's have a look at Tom Mitchell. Tom Mitchell, he's at 555k. So close to what he's been averaging for the year. He's currently ranked 18th in the midfielder department, 3-round average of 120, 5-round average of 112. Look, he's been very respectable. He's had some good scoring. But if you see most of his scores, though, like 102, 91, 108, 88, 106, 108, 107, 64, he has the occasional spike game. I'm not sure he will be able to maintain those bigger 120 plus scores. He seems to be hovering around the mid between 100 and 110, most of them. He has been playing a lot better, similar to what he was playing back when he was at Hawthorn. So if you reckon that sort of role, that sort of performance is going to keep up for the rest of the year, then I think at that price it is very doable. He's shown in the past that he is a reliable, consistent scorer. One of the, his Titch, he's a pig, right? So I'm not against it. I am not against it. If that's your final primo upgrade to get in a guy like Titch, I'm not against it. Oh, there you go. See, Tone, even Tone says Mitchell been playing like Hawthorn Mitchell lately, 100%. So I reckon Titch is a fine pickup, to be honest. Anthony, I'm going down to 3 injury trades. All defenders suck this year, unfortunately. So we'll keep Sheasel. Yeah, mate. I'm going to have 2 trades, and I've got Sheasel. So you're in a better position than me. Congratulations. No complaints whatsoever. Jonas, Collingwood are paying Dan McShark 600k plus 400k of Grundy salary. So essentially, 1 million per year to have McShark instead of Grundy. And they will tell you, Jonas, that they are happy. They will tell you that it's a fine trade. It's been very successful. It is what it is. Jono, how's it going, mate? G'day. I'm good. Very good. Thank you so much for the chat last night. Really enjoyed it. Anytime. Thanks for coming on. Looking forward to the next one already. Mate, you humble me with these words, bro. You humble me. Unbelievable. Jen, Hall gets dropped and Sheasel went big with 102. And that was my thing. That was what I was trying to, everyone was raving, oh, got to get rid of the North Melbourne boys. It's just like, no, just calm it down. To quote the great man, just the Squadfather, just calm it down, all right? Calm it down. It's all come about because of one man. One man has spoiled the apple cart, and that was, as we all know, Aaron Hall. So as soon as Aaron Hall is out of the picture, whether by injury, whether by dropped, whether by he's not in the best 22, according to if Clarko returns, for example, and he might not see Aaron Hall as part of that future. Whereas a guy like Brett Ratton is someone who is playing for the now. He's now yet again, and it's another time, he is a caretaker coach. And he could, if he continues to show great things with this team, he could be putting his hand up for some sort of special, some another opportunity at another club. You know what I mean? So as soon as Hall went out, it automatically boded well for Sheasel and Zeeble. Zeeble didn't have that great of a game, and Sheasel did. So very, very happy that we got rid of Zeeble and kept Sheasel. Yeah, and exactly. I'm still happy ditching Zeeble, but Hall just sucks. Yeah, I agree. And you ask Big J, who's a North Melbourne supporter. You ask Causa, who's a North Melbourne supporter. Both these guys are like, oh, no, not Aaron Hall. Get him out of the side. So hopefully that sort of communication has passed through the ranks and we're not going to see Aaron Hall. Hopefully that means Sheasel continues to play at halfback, and Sheasel in that role is a top 6 defender. By the time they deliberate, it's just at least 3 weeks suspension would have finished. That's a good one. That's a really good one, Anthony. Probably. Trade him out now. Jono, thoughts on Johnson to track Ford to Marriage and Humphrey to Clary and Briggs to Sheldrick. Yo, you got a boost still. Jeez. All right, so let's repeat this. Johnson to Track by going Ford down to Marriage, Briggs to Sheldrick, and then Humphrey to Clary and John. Bro, you're trading in both Clary and Petrarca. How is that wrong? And you've gained both of them by trading out one Primo in Briggs. If you're able to trade out one Primo who's on your bench to get two Uber Primos of the top echelon in Traka and Clary, that is sensational. Well done, Jono. That is unbelievable. Great trades. Great trades. You're looking at Yo at all? Obviously not for main 22. I am not looking at Yo at all. I feel like if I look too hard at him, he'll do a hammy. He is that injury prone. I don't want to stare at him too hard. I might break him. So, yeah, nah, I'm not looking at Yo whatsoever. I feel like I'm happier having a guy like Seamus Mitchell on the bench. I feel like he is a better. I feel like he's safer. I'm using my last boost next week. I'm excited. I can't believe you guys still have boosts. What the hell? How do you guys have boosts? Oh, I finished my boosts bloody 33,000 years ago. 100%, man. Jono's in a great position to be able to bring in both of those. With Yo, you would have to cover the cover. That's what I was saying about Fife. I'm saying Fife is of a similar ilk. You know, he's been very injury prone. He's getting on in years. They've signed him on for 2 more years. Like, what sort of a contract extension is that? They signed him on. They signed him on for 2 more years. That means that they are going to want to have to be very careful with him, try and keep managing him to try and make sure that he's able to play out to a higher level these next 2 years. So, yeah, I don't like Fife as a selection. Jen still deciding whether to trade Zeeble or not. Whoa, the fact that you've still held on to him when he had that ridiculously high break even, it was like 170 something, 178, I think, from memory. And he only scored a 68. So he's plummeted $21,000. Yikes. His current break even now is at 94, which if he's playing this role, Aaron Hall continues to be dropped, Jack Zeeble is more than capable of scoring 94. I guess the question for you becomes is whether or not you're capable of fielding 18 plus this week. If you can, then I reckon you held him through the super high break even. You might as well continue holding him now because he had his price drop, but he's shown that he's going to be playing that defensive role. He's still going to be having that Aaron Hall out of the picture. You could trade him out this week while he's still got some money on him. The question is who you trade him to. Who are you missing in that back line that you know for sure will make it better? Jonas, who would you trade out this week? Jack Thief or Humphrey B. Bear? Nah, man, I like Humphrey B. Bear. He doesn't talk, but I understand him. He speaks my language. I think Jack Thief. Yeah, he's robbing people. He's robbing people of getting good scores and good ranks, unfortunately. So, yeah, I like Humphrey B. Bear's chances this week. Playing at home against the Hawks. I'm not saying that the Hawks are shit. I'm just saying that mainly that he's playing at home. It's a great situation for him to be in. I think he likes to play at home. So I'll go with Jack Thief as my answer this week. Jono, leaves my midfield to be like this for next round. Bont, Clary, Track, Merritt, Neil, Anderson, Green, and Steele. All of them are very nice. Very nice. Of course, barring Jack Thief, Jack Steele, who is not made of... Maybe he is made of steel. He's just not moving properly at all, unfortunately. But yeah, Bond, Clary, Track, Merritt, Neil, Anderson, Green. What can I say? What can I say? That is wonderful, Jono. Wonderful. Anthony, shit, I can't get Windhager for cover. I'll be like 60 to 70k broke for next week. Shit, unless Sick gets suspended. I'm very confident that Sicily is suspended. They're trying to talk it over. The jury went for dinner or something. They've gone to dinner. They're trying to figure out how can we get this guy off? How can we not have him be guilty and miss the 3 weeks? They're trying to rack their brains. They have no idea how they're going to get this guy off. They went to dinner. They went to get some drinks. They've been given an impossible task, and now they're stuck trying to figure out how can we do this. So, best of luck to the people who still have him. I traded him out. I was sure he's gone. If he's back, so be it. It is what it is. I ended up getting 2 premiums as a result of that trade. Ended up getting what's this? Who did I get? I got Sinclair, and I also got, who else did I get? Oh, I also freed up a lot of money. Yeah, I freed up a lot of money for this week to hopefully get in like a Petrarca or an Oliver. I'm trying to go Ashcroft, Humphrey, and MJ to English Butters and a 102k. Look like I'm short, stupid planning. Look, I mean, Ashcroft, you still got Ashcroft, which is good. He's got a lot of money on him. It might not be a Butters then. It might not be a Butters. It might have to be someone slightly cheaper than a Butters. How short are you? We can try and find you an alternative to Butters. I've got 3 trades left now, but I feel like I'm in a strong... Yeah, absolutely. 100%. You're in a very strong position. At this point of the year, everyone's team's basically done, and these trades are for covering injuries and stuff like that. So as long as teams continue to be... Your players continue to be healthy, then you are perfectly fine. You don't have to activate that tactical sub, so to speak. So 100%, you are in a sensational position, Jono. Let's see, any news yet about Sicily's suspension? Still nothing yet. Still nothing about that yet. Okay. And I'd rather Butters over Cogs, so I'll take a no Windhager. Yeah. If that's what you got to do, then that's what you got to do. It is what it is. I'd prefer Butters. Yeah, I'd rather have Butters over Cogs. Yeah, and not have Windhager. Yeah. I think that's fine, Anthony. Jono, my only concern is 5 F6. That is a concern. That is a very valid concern to have. Yes. 5 for F6, probably not an ideal finishing position there. So, I mean, you've got an insanely good midfield. F6 seems to be the position that gives. That's what it is. Jen, currently have 12 to 13 players this week. Okay. Yeah, so you're guaranteed not to have 18. So you might as well just make sure focusing on having the best team that you can possibly have for the rest of the year. There's no point trying to salvage this week. You're guaranteed going to tank this week. So you might as well just be, I think, trying to build the best team you can have in the big picture from here on out. You might have to give up, I don't know, you might be giving up 500 points this week. But over the course of, I wouldn't want to keep it at 12 to 13. If you can somehow get it to like a 15, 16, then that's fine. Whilst also improving your team for the rest of the year. Enough ranting on my team. How's your team? Mate, my team review is for my team review video is where I talk exclusively about my team, and I can't talk to you about my team. Here in the live stream, it is all about this communication between us. You sending me your questions, having this chat. That's the joy. That's the beauty of the live stream, Anthony. That we get to talk about your team as much as we can. My team's doing okay. You'll see in the team review, which should be uploaded probably tonight. But I might as well tell you, I scored 2,006 this week. I went up 231 spots, so I'm now ranked 3,800. We're slowly hitting away, slowly chipping away at that overall leaderboard. So it's very decent. I had 18 people play. Obviously, Ford and Johnson shat the bed for me, which wasn't great. But I've got another 18 players playing this week. I don't have any trades this week planned. I'm not going to be doing any trades. So, yeah, I've still got 18 people. So it's not too bad. I'm in a decent position. Not the best position, but for someone who was ranked like 80,000+, I'm very happy with how far I've come. I don't really. Jeez, how's it going, mate? I missed the game. What was the reason Fife was pushed out of the midfield? Look, the reason is something that only Justin Longmuir would be able to answer. He's got a lot of questions to answer, unfortunately, and it just seemed that forward of center they didn't have enough leadership. It looked like they wanted to play Fife forward so that they could have these young players have someone that can lead, take a mark, and lead from the front in the forward line. And Fife just seemed to be that guy. They still had a very decent midfield out there on the park. They still had Sarong. They still had Brayshaw. They still had these guys. Obviously, they were missing the big boy in Shrek Darcy. So they were losing a lot of hitouts to Briggs. Briggs was just an unstoppable force. They could have kept Fife in there, but I don't think he would have done too much. He's now getting on in years, man. He's not the same young Fife that we knew and loved back in the day. One of my favorite players to watch. I still have immense respect for him. But forward of center, he was able to take that sensational screamer. That was beautiful. I loved seeing that. That was great. Causa. So how's it going, Causa? So this week I'm looking Harrison, Fletcher, and Darcy Cameron. Then next week maybe Oliver, Petrarca, or Neil for Marshall and Humphrey to Himmelberg. Okay. Yeah, I think Harry Himmelberg is a great shout. He could have scored a lot more, as we spoke about yesterday, Causa, but the ball just simply didn't get to him. So, yeah, Himmelberg is a very good shout after next week. Just trade Humphrey to him. Yep, that works. And you're going to have Darcy Cameron, who's going to be ruck cover because you're going to be trading out Marshall to get a Petrarca. Look, I'm not against it. It's a lot of sidewaysing trades, obviously, but from what we've seen, Briggs is like a slightly better Marshall, right? seems to be that way. So I'm not against it. It would be a shame having a guy like Briggs sitting there on the bench. Like, come on, seriously. Connor, how's it going, Connor? Oh, your Blues up and about. The Blue Bangers. Think I'm trading in Yo and Cameron this week. Which Cameron? Darcy Cameron? Jezza Cameron? This week. Then Himmelberg next week. So we'll have a completed team with cover in every line. Yo, Himmelberg, D6, 7, Humphrey, Emma, and Cameron for cover in the right. That's really good. That is very good. Okay, so we're talking Cameron. Yeah, so we're talking Darcy Cameron. Very good. Absolutely. Yes, I've got Darcy Cameron. I'm very happy to have him swing into the ruck line. Absolutely. That's part of the joys of having Darcy Cameron with that ruck forward status, and part of the reason why Gawn broke my heart when he didn't get the forward status. So, yes, I like that. Not so sold about Yo. I think Yo is very injury prone. I'm not sure. I think there might be better ways to use the money as opposed to having, but you're gonna have a fully finished team, so that's perfectly fine. Having him be cover at D7. So yeah, congratulations, Connor. That is very good to be able to have a fully finished team as well as having cover is really important. That's part of the reason why I did really well last year was because I was able to hold on to some really decently performing players. I held on to Paddy McCartan and SDK all year long, and they were great cover for me for all of those 1 week injuries / suspensions. And this year, more than ever, we're seeing suspensions. You get a suspension. You get a suspension. Everybody gets a suspension. We're quite in a Oprah here. So having that cover, really important. So well done, Connor. Sensational effort. We are back. Stand by for the verdict. Or, well, shock horror. Shock horror, Jono. Sicily upheld. Sicily upheld. Who would have believed it, mate? He was always going to get done, guys. He was, ladies and gentlemen, Sicily was always going to get suspended. You can get Windhager. Congratulations, Anthony. Congratulations. You can do it. You've got the trade. You've got the green light. He's a gone. Pissed off, mate. Yes, Connor. I traded him as well. I feel like I dodged the bullet, but you know, we backed in our gut. We backed it in. We saw it logically. We were pretty confident that he was going to get done. He was going to get the suspension was going to be upheld, and we traded him, and we managed to get the points. I'm not complaining. I got Sinclair's points as a result of that trade. Very happy about that. Very happy. What's this? Is Zane Trout expensive? His score's not bad. Wait, sorry, what am I talking about? Have I read all of the comments? Causa have 4 trades left after that, and F6 will be Himmelberg, Briggs. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Himmelberg, F6, Briggs R2 is perfectly fine, Causa. Absolutely. Can you have a look at my team, Hot Pies? Yes, Jen. I will be looking at your team. Don't you worry about that. I will make a note. Rodney, can Briggs hold down R2 with cover from D. Cameron in the forward line? Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm doing. 100%. That is, I reckon, a great setup because, I mean, what has Briggs done thus far that makes us question him? We look at how he's performed since coming into the team. He's gone a 109 against Marshall, no slouch. He went 102 in Geelong against Geelong. And Geelong historically are great at negating opposition ruckman. So he went a 102 there. He then went 128 against Nankervis. Again, Nankervis, no slouch. Marshall only scored 90 against Nankervis. And Briggs went 128. Up against Goldstein. Goldie has been one of the toughest opposition ruckmen to oppose all year. 114. And then now on the weekend, a 129 against Fremantle, and he missed a very gettable shot on goal. There is absolutely nothing that Briggs has done which should cause us to question his ability to ruck out the year. This rest now for the bye has come at a perfect time. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4. He's played 5 games now, never once under 100. Great time to come in, have a little rest, and pick up where he's left off. Briggs is my hero. I love Briggs. We're going to be starting him next year by looks of things, but he will be over 600K. Briggs is the GOAT, man. Honestly, Briggs is How much money has he made in 5 games? It was 250K. He's made $214,000 in 5 games. Mate, he's a star. I love Briggsy. Briggsy's a gun. Jules, how's it going, Julie? Sick dog was hard done by. It was a decent tackle. I am not going to deny. I'm not going to argue with Julie. Julie, I agree with you. But it's a new game now. It's a new game. The AFL are copping class action lawsuits. And there is nothing like a good old-fashioned class action lawsuit to cause change. And unfortunately, the game is no longer the same. It's all about duty of care. It's all about trying to protect opposition players now. It's rough. It's rough. I think a lot is being expected and demanded of these players now. You can't, the traditional way to tackle hard and impose yourself on the contest, it's basically gone. The game is becoming more scientific and more nuanced than ever before. It's a different stress factor now onto players. They're now going to be questioning themselves, should I tackle? Should I go for him? Or do I just simply resort to a standing tackle? We might see some more collision injuries that way. What should I do now? Well, you're going to trade out Sicily, Jono. That's what you got to do. Causa, good Sicily is out. I don't have him. Fair enough. Jeez, I really want him to finish the team. Now I've got to choose between the original Seagull, Lloyd, and Luke Ryan. Yo, that's a tough conundrum there between Lloyd and Ryan. I would easily have gone Lloyd in a heartbeat over Ryan because Ryan plays a bit more lockdown. He'll play accountable. Lloyd won't be asked to do that. But Lloyd was set on a wing last week before Blakey got injured. So that was really bizarre to me. Having said that, I think the original Seagull is safe. He scored a 103 last week. What did Luke Ryan score? I mean, Luke Ryan had a great game. I was watching that game. He was terrific, and he was up against a pretty weak GWS forward line. Tools in the tools department. They didn't have Hogan, and Cadman has not been firing outside. So look, it's a real flip of the toss of the coin. It's the toss of the coin. Back your heart, as the good man, the Squadfather would say. Connor, I traded him to Raul to avoid a 30 on field. Great pickup. Raul did really well. To score 90 plus in a smashing at the MCG, it bodes well for what Raul can do for the rest of the season. I think that was a very shrewd pickup. Glad I traded in Sinclair instead a few weeks back. Got lucky. Yeah. He's been good, Sinclair. So Chincotta, Winhager cover for the year, I guess. Well, that's fine. Especially if Carlton can continue to win some more games, they're going to want to probably not mess around with their team structure a lot. They're probably going to want to keep, what's working. And Chincotta has not been bad. Chincotta has been very serviceable. He's been a very useful player, I will just say. So hopefully he can maintain his spot in the team. Winhager, I'm more confident on. I like him. I'd ask a look at my team if you want a good laugh, MJ. Want a good laugh? Who are you talking about? You're talking to M? Who else is MJ in the chat? Look, I got Matt Johnson too, mate. All right, I've got him too. Briggs the GOAT. He is, man. I love Briggs. Briggs is my favorite player. I reckon Matt Johnson will play. Apparently, from reports, it looks like he's going to play. He looks like he's healthy. He's recovered well, so it looks like he's going to play. Connor, fingers crossed. I hope that is the case. He is my 18th player this week. Which defenders am I getting now for Frank's sake? Who don't you have? Medium J is MJ. Oh, all right, cool. Who do you not have, Anthony, in the back line? Doc Butters English in next week, it looks like. Ooh, Dockety. He's looking good. He is looking the goods, Doc. He's playing that different role now. They're playing like they used to play last year. And when last year he was doing very well. So, 3-round average of 94, 5-round average of 108. So, yeah, I reckon Doc's a fair shout, mate. Was very hard trading Briggs out, but no use having on the bench. It's true. If you're going to have him on the bench, it is a waste. You might as well use the cash that he's got strapped to him to upgrade your team elsewhere. That's perfectly acceptable, Cheese. Not a problem. Kent, thinking Roberts to Dev Robertson. Now, Dev Robertson, mate, if you jumped on him last week, congratulations, because he did very, very well. He scored 95 playing at home. His break-even now is negative 53. His price is 219,000. So Roberts is 148. So you're going to be forking up roughly $71,000 to get him. If you have that, $71,000 is a lot of money that you could put towards a genuine upgrade. So I probably wouldn't do it. I think Roberts will eventually return. He would be back around 16 to 18. So we're now entering the round 15 bye. So Roberts is not too far away. You can hold on to him. I probably wouldn't be using $70,000 to get into sideways rookies. I wouldn't at this stage, Kent. I'd say no to that one. Theo, lucky I got Neil last week for Sicily. Next Sunday, I want you to see my team, Joe. It's finished. Well, 100%. I will be looking at it, Theo. Next Sunday, I will be looking at that team. You come on the stream and we'll do it. Man of Steel, also someone I'm going to have to look at. Jono, medium J is MJ. To be MJ, I feel pretty happy about that. I like that. Actually, I'm broke. Anthony, it's fine. Anthony, it's okay. It's not real life. It's just a game. You are not broke in real life. That's the most important thing. I'm so desperate for some leftover cash now. I want to take the chance on Steele to turn it around and Mills to play his natural position when he comes back. Look, I think Mills is an absolute no-brainer when he comes back. For his price, he's at 471K now, and his break-even's 167. So he's likely to drop a lot more. So Callum Mills could be secretly an M9 for people that you end up looping between people, or you could just hold on to Steele and hope that he can turn it around, and then you can flip him to Mills. That's the conundrum, man. Julie, can you find out if Gawn is closer to DPP? I'm waiting to see how Briggs does in Alice Springs before I decide on my rucks. I have Briggs, Gawn, Marshall, DCAM in forward line, and Madden as a loop. Look, I have Gawn, I've got Briggs, I've got Marshall, and I got DCAM in the forward line with Madden. That's the exact same position I am in, Julie. I was hoping that Gawn would get forward status, and then I could have English as well on top of that. But apparently not. Not to be. Look, he's not going to get DPP till round 18. So by that point in time, if you don't have a fully finished primo team, Julie, then you're being left behind well and truly. So there are people who are full premium as of this week. My grandma's team is full premium this week. And then you've got some people like myself and a lot of other people going to be full primo next week. So if you're going to be waiting till round 18 to, make a move and get a full premium team, then I wouldn't do it. I'm personally going to be trading out Gawn. I don't think Gawn is that reliable, consistent scorer anymore with Grundy in the team. I'm trusting. I want to use Gawn's money to get myself an uber premium midfielder and trust Briggs at R2. And if something happens and he has to be taken off the field for 1 or 2 weeks, well, we've got the cover in Darcy Cameron to make that switch. So I'm personally going to be trading out Briggs. I'm going to back in Marshall to continue to score. He's averaging 109.5 for the season, whereas Gawn's averaging 92. That is not good enough. That is simply not good enough. Whereas a guy like Briggs is averaging 116. Is Briggs R2 right now in terms of averages? Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see. Filter by Ruckman. Average. Kieran Briggs is R2 on average. 116.4. Second to English, who's averaging 124. That's all I got to say. I'm trading out Gawn to take Briggs' scoring. That's what I'm doing, Julie. Sicily is still in my team. So you're holding. So you've got Sicily and Oliver, and you're holding on to Oliver for all this time. Don't tell me you're going to hold on to Sicily, Jen. Please don't do that. Trade him out. Unless, of course, you're playing strictly for your leagues, because he should be back in time for the finals at that point. But otherwise, I would recommend trading out Sicily. Yeah, too late to bring in Devil Rob. Yep, I like that, Devil Rob. That's right, Jonas. That's too late. He's gone, especially if you're trying to trade out, Matt Roberts, forking out $70,000 to do so. Not worth it, in my opinion. So that's that. Now, let us talk about the round 15 matchups this week. So we've got Geelong versus Melbourne. Now, playing at GMHBA Stadium. So playing at Geelong's home ground. Geelong naturally love to play there, but they are in a really rough situation with all of their injuries. Dangerfield came back last week, but then got the collapsed lung. There's no way he's going to be playing this week. So they have got a really weak midfield. I imagine that if you got Petrarca, he might be copying the O'Connor tag this week. Obviously, going to have to pay really close attention to whether or not Clayton Oliver gets named. But I imagine that Melbourne will be too strong. I reckon Stewart is a very great VC option this week. I think there's going to get a lot of supply coming his way from the stronger Melbourne midfield. And Melbourne suck at kicking for goal. They keep missing all the time. I reckon there's going to be a lot of kick-ins for Tom Stewart as well. So I reckon Tom Stewart is a very sneaky VC this week. And then trading Marshall over Briggs. Trading Marshall over Briggs makes me not broke anymore. Briggs the GOAT at R2, I knew it. 100%, bro. 100%. Briggs is El Capitan Montecero. I don't know. Like, Briggs is a star, bro. Briggs is the captain of my heart, man. Oh, I love this, bro. I love this man. He's a signore. He is a signore. Causa, best trades of the year for me. David Briggs. Oh, my God. David Briggs? And Sean Darcy to English 1 minute before the game of Adelaide versus Freo. Well done. Huge. To think I started with Wits. Because he was going to be the healthy, safe option for me all year round. I won't have to mess around with my rucks. And now, look at that. He had to go out. But English had already played. Had to trade him to Grundy. Grundy had to go, become Gorn. Was meant to get forward status. Missed out by 0.1%. We've got Briggs now. We're going to trade out Gorn and keep Briggs on at R2. It's just been a merry-go-round in my ruck line. It's been ridiculous. If only I got an English. If only the news came out about Wits earlier, I'd have English too. It's been ridiculous. On your Causa. Jen, I might have to trade him out to have enough cash to get Wines next week. Well, yes, for sure. But I think you have to trade him out also because you've only got like 11 people playing this week. That is bad. That is bad, Jen. It's you're going to be coughing up a lot of points. You got to trade him out. You got to be trading to people that have already had their buy. You can't be fielding 11, 12 people this week. That is obviously you can't salvage that situation entirely at this point, but yeah, you can't. I don't think it's sustainable this week. Robertson, poor trade with Fletcher on the scene and McCluggage due back. Correct. Absolutely, 100%. I wouldn't be trading for any expensive rookies. The only rookie I'd be looking at this week is Marriage. And maybe even a Sheldrick, perhaps. Because Sheldrick looked really good on the weekend. He looked sensational. What's Sheldrick priced at? Sheldrick. Spell Sheldrick. 190k. It's a bit much, 190k. But you just want a warm body, someone's going to be able to play all year, someone that can serve as cover for you. I wouldn't trade in someone with poor job security. Marriage is someone, barring injury and suspension, of course, Marriage will play every game. The Eagles need him. The Eagles need more key forward targets. The Eagles have obviously highly rated him. He was the number 1 pick in the mid-season draft. I think Marriage is clearly the one. And he plays this week. Is Himmelberg D6 a good idea? That means I can get Windhager. Look, Himmelberg is a primo. He is. As long as he's got that halfback role, Himmelberg is a primo. We saw that last year. We really have. So I reckon Himmelberg at D6 is perfectly acceptable. That's what I've got personally. And Windhager is excellent cover between the midfield and the forward line. The Saints really rate this kid. I really rate this kid. He busts his ass off. And even if he's not tagging, he's able of winning his own ball. And if the situation calls for it and he tags, guess what? More tackles for him. And he's a tackling machine. So I like Windhager. MJ, I started Wits as well. May do my ruck issue next week. I have 20 playing this week. Congratulations, Jules. That is huge. 20 people playing this week. That is remarkable. That means that you're going to have your best 18 people play, whereas you've got a lot of teams incapable of fielding 18. You, Jules, are set for a massive, massive rank rise. Jonas, Ollie Weiner at 500k for 90s. No thanks. Look, he's fine. He's fine. I know you're calling him 500k for 90s. He's 500k for 90s, but with the occasional spike game, Jonas. So, look, there are a lot of players have been very inconsistent this year. Ollie Wines has been building very slowly into the season. I think he's not going to give you too many shit games, and that's probably what you want at this point. I mean, he's 99,000. He's like 100,000 less than Neil. Would you rather Wines or Steele? Jonas, I reckon we know the answer to that one. Connor, I went through the top 100 ranked teams, and it looks like there is a lot of people in trouble for this buy. Was a team with 12 before trades and a team with 13, a lot with 14 as well. Correct. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're able to, the aim that I've been preaching for the last month has been, guys and girls, please do your best to field 18 this week, because that is the biggest free swing at getting a rank rise. A lot of players, a lot of teams that haven't properly planned for this buy round are in the shit. Just plain simple. So if you can have 18 people playing this week, then that is awesome. Awesome. Sicily is a hole for me, I think. Oh, well, you must have good cover, Jono. I love Windhager. There you go. We've got a Saner who loves Windhager. Thank you. Someone who backs me up on you, Jono. Matt, I'm behind the comp leader by 1,074 points. Can I catch him, or should I play for league? Matt, I'm never one to say never. Having said that, I just did. I won't say never, but let's just say it is very, very, very unlikely, right? Because we've got what? We've got roughly 10 weeks to go. So you have to beat him by 108 points every single week. It's very possible. It's very possible. But I just think that the top spot, not only is it the points that he's in front by, it's also the number of trades that he's got left. I'm pretty sure he's still got a very decent number of trades left as well. So he can make some luxury upgrades here and there to make his team even better. So that's probably the issue. I still reckon you should try your best to finish as high as possible. If you can get top 10, Matt, you win prize money. You win $1,000 if you're between third and 10th. You get $1,000 of prize money. So I'm not sure how big your cash league is, how much they're paying you, but I personally am one who always likes to play for ranked. James, how's it going? Ryan or Red Dog? How has Redmond been doing the last couple of weeks? I haven't had a look at Redmond scoring for the last couple of weeks. Let's have a look and see. Pretty sure Ridley's been doing better than Redmond recently. He went 101 against Carlton. Oh, yeah, there was that one scintillating passage through the middle of the ground. The give, go, bullet to 2-meter Peter for a score assist. That was bellissimo. 72 against Melbourne, 144 against West Coast, but let's be real, it's West Coast. 101 against Richmond, 136 against Brisbane. He's had a very solid block of 5 games. Among them is the 72 against North Melbourne. So he's been doing really well. Can't say he hasn't been playing, sensational. Currently ranked 14th is one Mason Redman. I also have been liking the looks of Ridley. It seems that we're playing him like we used to play him. He's got that rollback. He's had now 4 consecutive over 100s since returning from that concussion. So I think you can't go wrong with either of them. But Ryan, I don't know. Ryan is one who's very likely to play accountable football, accountable defending. Having said that, he's a beautiful user of the ball. Freo like having the ball in his hands. I think they'll both be similar in terms of their scoring, I reckon. But if you want more consistency, less roller coaster, I think you go Ryan. Him will herd the pick of the sheeple. Mate, he's sub 400k, capable of being a top 6 forward/defender. Come on, Jonas. Come on. You can't be accusing people of being sheeple for picking Himmelberg. Connor, worst case, you set yourself up for Himmelberg next week, and they say he's going to play a forward. Can always go Matt Kennedy instead. Matt Kennedy was one that I couldn't believe he was the sub. He was prime at that really low price point to get him traded in. So yeah, Matt Kennedy's interesting. He's playing that George Hewitt role though. So the problem is, if George Hewitt comes back, will George Hewitt take his role back again, or will Kennedy have to be moved off the ball? It's a question. I can get to 17.2 players this week. Chesser, the only sloth, only counts for 0.2 of a player. He is 20% of a player. He is 1/5 of a man. Oh, Jonas, the slander you had, you slander poor young Chesser every week. I love it. It's so funny. You never know. He might get a gig. Would like your thoughts on what I could do possibly. Yeah, sure thing, John. Causer, Lots got Libber, Cogs, Butters, Dale, Daniel, Himmelberg, McRae. Different who I don't have, plus Sard, Walsh, Taranto, Rosie, Bonzabelli, Trelaw, Briggs, That's why, 100%. It's so hard this week. It is so hard this week. That's why all these players that you're mentioning, the Libbers, the Dales, the Daniels, the McRaes, I kept telling people I'd love to have this player in my team. I would love to have him in my team. But I'm looking at the buy. It's all about the round 15 buy. This week has always been the killer, and we all knew about it. We all knew about it a long time ago. It wasn't a surprise. It didn't come in like a thief in the night. Peekaboo, we got a bad buy. No, we always knew about it. So if you built your team ready for the buys, then congratulations, you're good to go. Thoughts on Lewis Melican? Brought him in last week. Yeah, Melican looks good. Melican the Pelican. They've got a menagerie going there at the Swans. They've got Melican the Pelican. They've got Blakey the Lizard. They've got Lloyd the Seagull. They've got a Robbie Fox. You know what I mean? Like, they've got a lot of animals over there at the Swans. Yeah, but Melican looks all right. He's got he scored 68 last week, which is obviously a lot better than our midfielder rookies last week. He's got a 5-round average of 69, 3-round average of 69 because he's only played 3 games. But he looks good. He looks really good in what was a loss. So congratulations. I think Melican should hold his spot in the team. I don't think he's done anything that warrants him getting dropped. Kent, I think Martin good for the rest of the year. Which Martin? There's more than one Martin, Kent. Are we talking Nick Martin? The best Martin? Are we talking Dusty Martin? Are we talking Jack Martin? Which Martin, bro? Which Martin? Anthony. So this week, Briggs is gone, keeping Marshall. Next week, Ashcroft, MJ, Humph, plus 530 in the bank to Himmelberg. English Butters with Windy and Sink as cover. Love that. Love it, Anthony. Love it. Full team and cover. You love to see it. If I keep Sicily, I have 19 if Chesser plays. In other words, if you keep Sicily, you have 18. Sorry. Now I'm poking digs at Chesser. What have you done to me, Jonas? What have you done to me? Nick Martin. Yeah. Oh, I love him. Nick Martin, what a beauty. What a beauty he is. The thing with Nick Martin is he plays one of the most unrewarding positions in the AFL, and that is wing. The wing can be a very unrewarding place to be, especially if the game is not being played on that side of the ground. The thing with Nick Martin is he is currently ranked the second highest, the second best winger in the competition after Errol Goulden. Now, if Errol Goulden is considered a primo, could Nick Martin also be considered a primo? Because if you're trading him in at 531,000, he is primo at this price point. He's not here to make you money. He's here to be a keeper for the rest of the year on field as a player. Now, we love the ball in Nick Martin's hands. We do. He's a great ball user. He takes the game on. He's a beautiful kick of the football, a great decision maker. We do love having the ball in Nick Martin's hands. And he works his ass off. He worked really hard on his endurance over the offseason to be able to work up and down the ground to help in defense and then also push forward and kick goals. He might win our BNF, our best and fairest. He is going that well as a second-year player. Pick up as a supplemental pick. Nick Martin is the man. Nick Martin is him. I will not say no to Nick Martin. I won't. He scored a 49. That was his one real bad game. He scored 80 against Hawthorn, 49 against Gold Coast, 88, 97, 72, 60, 127, 64, 84, 83. The last 3 weeks, he's been on an absolute tear. Okay? But why did he not score so hot shot before? You know what? This might be time. So let's share screen. Let's have a look and see what's happening with Nick Martin. Because as Chase says, Nick Martin is that dude. I love him. I love him. I love him, Chase. He is a joy. Look at Nick Martin. Look at Nick Martin. Why was his scoring so poor earlier in the year when so we're looking at round 23. Okay, so TOG is very high across the board. TOG is sensational. Okay. What happened in this 49? Why did he score 49 coming off the interchange? Let's have a look at that heat map. Okay, so it almost looked like that was more like a back pocket. So he didn't really get much of the pill in that game. How much did he get? He got 13 touches. Okay. 13 touches. His other games, he had 21 for 80, 28 for 88, 24 for 97, 17 for 72, 18 for 60. Okay, so it almost seems like if he gets below 20 touches, he's not going to score much. And that makes sense. Because obviously the more disposals you get, the more touches you have, the more points you'll score. So let's have a look here. Disposal efficiency was only 59%. Essendon versus Melbourne, this was the wet torrential rain at Adelaide Oval. Smaller ground. In the wet, that is a winger. And that's part of the problem with a winger. So this game was a rough game for him. Understandable against Melbourne, very strong. They have very strong wingers at Melbourne. There was terrible conditions, small ground, does not suit a winger. What other bad game? He also had a 60 here against Collingwood and Zach Day. 9 kicks, 9 handballs, 83% efficiency. Okay. It's decent. It's almost like he was playing a bit more forward in this game. Interesting. So we're seeing that he has the green light to run all over the ground. He got a lot more of the pill in the week before. We saw he had a lot more pill here on this side. But now the disposals that he got were all a lot more central. Okay, so we're seeing a different role. We're trying to get him involved in the play more. Well, we see. Then he went huge here. 127 off 22 touches on a wing. Look at that. Look at that. He had quite a lot of the pill in the middle of the ground. Again, this is probably where we want him, so that he can use that beautiful kicking either on the short side or kicking it to the fat side to someone on the lead. So this is good. This is what we sort of want to see from him. So he scored a really good score there, 127. This 64, why? Essendon versus Port Adelaide. This was at Adelaide Oval again. Another small ground. Again, where he struggled. And the ball was living in their forward half of the ground. We were getting killed out of the centre. So a lot of defensive side wing, there's a defensive side scores, no score assists in this game. So that makes sense also why he had a poor score. Okay, so alrighty. So we're starting to make sense of why he's scoring poorly. This Essendon versus Brisbane game, that was at the Gabba. It was also wet and slippery conditions there, 79% efficiency. He had one kick in, playing on a wing. Let's have a look. Yeah, again, their midfield got to work. We were missing Parrish and Setterfield and Shield. Like we were decimated in the midfield. So they got a lot of forward. So he had a lot of back 50 disposals, as you can see. So a lot of his points come also that isn't quite captured by these statistics. If we look at that. Very central. Very central. We're getting a bit more pill forward of center here. Central and forward of center. This is where Nick Martin plays his best. Nick Martin plays his best and when he's getting the ball towards the middle of the ground and is able to get the ball moving forward where he gets score assists. So as long as you think that Essendon is capable of kicking a winning score, Nick Martin has really benefited from having these kicks inside 50, okay, which is sensational. The question that I have becomes, will he be getting a lot more of that ball in the middle of the ground when someone like a Dylan Shield returns, when someone like a Darcy Parish returns? Because Darcy Parish got injured, I think, 5 weeks ago. So before that, he only had one game where he cracked the 100, and that was against Geelong. So Darcy Parish still to return, Shield to come back, Setterfield. Don't call him Setter Chick, bro. He's not Setter Chick. He's a sexy boy, sexy man. Setter's to come back as well. So will we continue to see this big sort of scoring from him where he was middle of the ground? I think we might see more of Darcy Parish in that position. I don't like Darcy Parish's disposal as much as Nick Martin, but our midfield mix is going to change. It's not going to be what it currently is. And that makes picking him very difficult. It really does. If you want someone at that price point, there are certainly other players who are probably cheaper than him who are in the midfield or mid forward. Let's filter someone less than 540 in the midfield / forward. Let's have a look. So you got by average. You can he's matching it. Goulden, Tom Green. Everyone's already got probably Sammy Walsh on the bye this week, so you can't get him. Tim Kelly's been pretty good. Cogs if you don't have him. Viney. I don't know if Viney will be able to continue that sort of scoring with Oliver to return. There's Darcy Cameron. There's Jezza Cameron, He's still averaging 94. I think Jeremy Cameron in the forward line could be huge. Got a lot of home games to come in Geelong. But there really isn't much option at this price point. There is Taron Thomas, who's been doing really pretty well for him. Will Day, averaging 91.9. But, yeah, look, it's tough. It's tough. I really hope Nick Martin can still be good for you if you decide to pick him. I'm struggling. I'd struggle. I'd love to see how he goes this week with Darcy Parish back in the side. If he continues to do what he's doing, then I reckon he'll be good. Nick Martin is good at being 100% Tone. He really is. He really is. He's so good, and we love having the ball in his hands, and he's a great ball user. He does have a good kick to handball ratio. I reckon he should be in the All Australian mix for sure for the wing position. There's two wings. He should be on one wing, and I'm not sure who is going to be on the other wing. But I definitely reckon 100% the way he's playing, the AFL have to do it right. Okay. Now there are some comments I missed. Anthony, with Himmelberg, it's Himmelberg versus Day or even Himmelberg versus Steele, so not worried anymore. True. Very good. James, if Steele and MJ play this week, I will have 18. Both of them should play this week. Congratulations. You're going to have 18. Lisa, looking for value. Thoughts on Jack Viney under 500K and a 3 and 5 average of 100. Correct. That is definitely the case, Jack Viney. But is it a coincidence that happens to coincide with Oliver being out of the side? You know what I mean? Oliver's a big boy. Oliver demands a lot of points in that midfield. So it's, hard to say go for Jack Viney when you've got the looming return of probably the greatest contested ball winner of the modern era to come in Clayton Oliver. He's got more contested possessions out of anyone in his first 80 games. So, Nick Martin from base rookie to top 6. Yeah, and honestly, Nick Martin is one of the greatest stories, one of the most astronomical rises in football in such a terrible position. Unbelievable. Paddy Crippled has kicked more goals than Dunkley, Neal, and Parish combined this season, 4 goals to 3. Now, you say that. Parish has been gone for the last 5 weeks. He still leads Essendon for contested possessions and clearances. Total. Despite missing the last 5 games. Let's calm the farm on Paddy Crippled. He kicked 3 goals on the weekend. He was freaking shit before last week. Calm it down. Just calm it down. Overrated, I reckon. LDU ain't a terrible idea, to be fair. Yeah, LDU is not a terrible idea. But obviously you can't trade him in this week because he's got the bye and he should return, and then he should be straight into that midfield mix for sub 500K. I'm keen to probably pick him next year, to be honest. I'm keen to pick him next year. LDU screwed me over so bad. I never want him in my team again. All right, so I guess Cheese has put a new player onto his never again list. Fair enough. Don't pick Viney multiple times this season. He spent 17 minutes on the bench. It's ridiculous. What he said. Stephen, best D6 options under 510K. Alrighty. Let's have a look. Filter. Under 510. We want defense. All right, so we've got Luke Ryan. How many do you want? We've got Luke Ryan. Wait. I got Martin 2 weeks ago. Parish Shield could hurt with scoring, like you said. Yes, it's true. Parish and Shield could come back. Shield played 1 game, but he clearly wasn't ready to come back, and he was subbed out. So Parish to come back, I think Parish is the big ball winner. Parish will win a lot more of the pill. We might end up using the wings less. Part of the problem that we have with the Essendon midfield is because we don't have the big boy in Parish, who is by far and away our number one contested ball winner, we've had to resort to playing a different sort of game plan and not really winning the ball much at the contest. Obviously, apart from that, little stint in the third quarter against Carlton, that was insane. But for most of the game, our midfield was unable to match theirs. And we had to rely on the rope-a-dope strategy, losing it out of the middle, concede the D50, rebound, and get someone on the counter-attack. That's the way we've been playing. But with Parrish back and with Shield healthy, we could be winning a lot more center clearances and getting scores that way. We could be playing a lot more direct football, which could be a problem for Martin, because Martin is a winger trying to spread. You'll find there are situations where Nick Martin will probably be used mostly when we are trying to play that rope-a-dope strategy. With Parrish back, we could see a lot more center bounce clearances and center bounce goal. But yeah, back to the best D6 options. Sheasel, Zeeble, probably wouldn't go Zeeble. Luke Ryan's probably one. Not super happy with him as a selection. We're only on the sub, on the buy. Hayden Young has not taken that step that we all thought he would take in the preseason. He might. Will Day is an interesting one. Averaging 91.9 for the season. He's got that defensive mid DPP that could come in handy. Ridley's last 3 weeks have been terrific, averaging a 113. How does that rank him? Number one. That puts him as the number one informed defender under 510K. He's been sensational, Jordan Ridley. He's been taking the intercept marks. He looks really good. I was joking about this in one of the previous videos, but he just looks rejuvenated. He looks like the Ridley from 2 years ago before he copped that concussion. It's almost like this concussion set him back to what he was. Remember, Ridley. Remember who you are. You are more than what you have become. Like, it took that concussion to give a full Mufasa talk to Simba to reawaken Ridley again. He's been looking sensational his last 3 weeks. And it wasn't like there was simple, easy intercepts like kicking. He's been peeling off his man, taking sensational grabs. I reckon Rids is a fair shout, mate. I reckon Rids under 510K is a fair shout, Steve. Anthony, I've just considered getting Yo at D6. That's enough Supercoach for one day. It's getting to your head, Anthony. Just calm it down. Deep breaths. If it's go drink a tea or something, it might help you out there. I don't know. Yeah, maybe enough Supercoach for one night if you're thinking about Yo. Causa. Well, Sard isn't one at the move, as I have not liked him since I've got him. He hasn't scored 100 for ages. It's true, he hasn't. The defender premiums have been really weird. Part of the reason why Sard hasn't scored so big is because I think Doherty came back earlier than expected. Doherty was meant to be out for longer, and it looks like they're going back to the old 2022 Carlton when they were looking okay, when they were looking good and trying to play that style again. And that means that Doherty's getting more of the pill than we had at the start of the year, which pisses me off to no end because we started this bastard. Where was this at the start of the year? Huh? So, Sard is no longer that guy. He's almost become a role player in that backline, which was something that we were complaining about with Doherty early in the year. And that just goes to show how lost and confused the Carlton Football Club is. They can't get things nailed right. Maybe they've finally turned the corner and they're going to be relying on Doherty to play. Let's have a look at Sard. What's happened to Sard? Will Day, they call him Night Willie. They might call him that, Jonas, but I won't. Sheasel to Ridley? No, don't. Kent. Calm the farm, Kent. It's okay. It's fine. Sheasel's now playing. Look at this mercenary. Suns, Essendon, Carlton. Like, bro. Let's just get his face off. Get his face off my screen. Shazel. Alrighty. So we got Shazel is now playing at centre half back again. Look at my that's a really weird centre half back heat map, to be honest. Yeah, look, 91% Tog, 103 Supercoach, 32 disposals at 81%. Good kick to handball ratio. You know what I mean? Week before. So yeah, I wouldn't be trading out Shazel, Kent. Don't trade out Shazel now. He's finally got that role that we all wanted him to have again. So yeah, I'd be holding on to Shaze. Them boos after we scored that handball chain felt personal. Bro, that handball chain. Bro, I had such a stiffy. I was unbelievable. I was so happy. I was losing my mind. I was dancing and screaming, like, what the hell was that? Who the hell is that? How is that Essendon? Where has that ever happened? That was so good, bro. Oh, it was amazing. Carlton, Sard can cop all of the boos. I don't give a shit. Suck that. You leave us because of culture. You leave us to win finals, to play finals. Oh, enjoy that. How's that going? How is that going? Yes, I'm up and about. When it comes to Sard. All right, we'll go back to Sard, to the actual discussion about Sard. Especially with midfield, 100%. That midfield trio, Stringer, Martin, Caldwell, against Cripps, Walsh, and Kennedy. Like, I honestly thought Carlton would get the dub because we didn't have Shield, we didn't have Parrish, we didn't have Setterfield. They have a full midfield. Their midfield is stacked. Exactly. It's all healthy. And we're missing 3 of our contested ball winners. And they were sent to the cleaners. Freaking Cripps. Bro, I don't know how he managed to find himself falling out of Perkins' pocket. Freaking Perkins pocketed him and took him to school. Oh, that was glorious. I was so happy about that. Wish Setterfield playing just for some revenge. Bro, Setterfield's smile in the rooms watching us sing that song, he was so happy. I don't know if you can somehow find a way to find the footage, but his smile was bigger than Luna Park. He was so happy watching the boys belt the song after we beat his old mob. He was so happy. If he played that game, he probably would have been crying with happiness, probably. But he was so happy. It was something heartwarming. Didn't see that. Let up. Yeah, honestly, man, he was so happy in the rooms after the game. It was beautiful. But yeah, back to Sard. Sard, half-back flank, back pocket. When was the last time he scored 100? Jeez. Round 4 was the last time he turned up? Wow, that's really bad. Why? When did Doherty get injured? Doherty got injured at about this point, I think. Back pocket. He didn't get enough of the pill. He hasn't got enough of the pill. 17 disposals. This was 25 for 96. This was 23 for 78. That's not very good. How many kick-ins? 4 kick-ins. He only played on from half of them. That's not very good. 23 disposals. 3 kick-ins for 90 against the Dogs. Yeah, it's not a great heat map. 90. Again, not a great heat map. He's not going on his runs. That's probably been one of the major issues for Carlton this year, is that Sard is not getting on his bike and running. He tried to here. But he hasn't been involved in the play. He's just been bombing the ball long out of defensive 50. Sard's a difficult one. I think Sard I think Sard is on the right track. They seem to have him run the ball, take some bounces. It looked like the Sard of old, to be honest. In that game against Gold Coast, you might have to hold on to him, Causa, and hope he comes good, because he's lost a lot of money as well. Like, yeah, he's on 440k. Like, there's no one obvious to trade him to. It could be a Himmelberg. You know, free up roughly 40k. But other than that, you may have to keep him. I can't believe I found it. It was so good. Yeah, it really was, man. It was. I was really happy for him. I was wrapped. Alrighty, guys. That's now 9 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining me here on our Monday night live stream. Hope you guys had a good time. It was good fun talking with all of you guys and gals. Make sure if you had a good time that you leave us a like on the stream. I'm just looking now, not a single like, so I feel very loved right now. Thank you so much, guys, for leaving all of those 0 likes. It's been muchly appreciated. Please chuck us a sub if you want to keep seeing us, a bit more of us. Hopefully, Big J should be with us on the next stream. It won't be by myself. Getting tired lungs, tired throat. Still haven't looked at my team. Right, Jen, you're right. I haven't looked at your team, and I haven't looked at. Before we go, there you go. Thank you so much for reminding me. Let's have a look at your team. We'll look at the teams. You and John O'Carroll. So yours was hot pies. Hot pies. Jennifer, there we are. I can't say yes. I'll look at your team and then not look at your team. That would be very poor form. All right. Dacos, Dawson, Zeeble, Sheasel, Himmelberg, Melican. I don't think you can hold on to Sis. I think Sis has to go. Bont, Petrarca, Neil, Brayshaw, Rosie, Green, Humphrey, Wardlaw. Still holding on to Clayton Oliver. All right, so that means Oliver comes on for Humphrey. So you still need one primo mid. English, Marshall, Cameron. I assume you've got Madden. Wait, do you not have Madden? How do you get Darcy Cameron into the forward line? Oh, you got McAndrew. Right, okay. Okay, so you still... So how many premiums is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think you can use the money. You can split Sicily to get 2 premiums. I think if you trade out Sicily and Zeeble, then because you have a boost, you can do 4 trades. So you can trade out Zeeble, you can trade out Sicily, and you can trade out Ford and Drury. I think they're the 4 that you trade out. Jen? I think they're the 4 that you trade out. Or even a Sharp. I don't know. Is Sharp even going to play this week? I don't think Sharp will play. It might be even a Sharp that you trade out. I think those are the 4 people that you trade out. And you can use that money. You can flip those players into playing players. And you should be able to turn that 1 premium or the 2 premiums into a 4, close to 4, to basically a 4 primo team. That's the benefit of being able to split premiums. You can upgrade. You can use the cash to upgrade it to other people. Do you have a Sinclair? You could go to a Sinclair. Sinclair's pretty cheap. Sinclair's $544. So you can free up 105k by doing Sicily to Sinclair, for example. So that could do really well. Oh, Sharp next week becomes Wines. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, you could do Sicily down to Sinclair. You free up 105k that way. Sheasel, no, sorry, not Sheasel, Zeeble, 467 with that 105 plus the 118 that you've got. That's like 270k basically that you can chuck onto 270k, and you can chuck onto an Eddie Ford perhaps. Yeah, you got a lot of options. You really have a lot of options, Jen. But overall, the quality of the premiums are really good. Oliver should return, which will automatically boost your team. But you'll probably need to trade. Yeah, if you trade Sicily to Sinclair, then you've still got that fully finished 6 premium defenders. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Rosie should be in the forward line. I think Rosie should be in the forward line. I think using up one of those precious midfield slots with Rosie probably isn't ideal. Could be trading out, or you could swing Drury. Yeah, you can flip with Drury and have Rosie here. Okay, so you got a full premium forward line. Oh, but the problem is you'd also and McAndrew. Yep. Okay, cool. Yep. So you got a full finished premium forward line with Darcy Cameron and Rosie here, which is great. So it's literally just one premium midfielder, which you need, which you can get because you've already got like 120k in the bank. You can free up another 150 by going Sicily down to Sinclair. And you can chuck that money onto a Sharp or onto a Ford to get another premium defender in there. And you got a boost. If you have a boost, and then you can also downgrade someone else. It could even be a Sharp. You may have to forego Wines. You could afford someone even better than a Wines as your M9. Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably what I would do, Jen. Thank you very much for your team. I also have to look at John O'Carroll's team. I don't know why I have to look at your team, John O'Carroll, when your team is absolutely flying, mate. Man of Steel. Alrighty. Sick Dog. Gotta go. Dacos, Sinclair, Lloyd, Sheasel, Day. Got Dawson will come back. So Dawson you can field on for Sicily because you said you want to probably keep Sicily. Yeah, I mean, you've got a full back 6 plus Dawson. Interesting. Bond, Merritt, Neil, Green, Steele. 5. Johnson should play. Dev, Rob, very nice. English, Rowan, Briggs, Dunkley, Toronto, Connor, Gordon, Humphrey, Ford. All right, so how many premiums is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. What did you say your plan was? Are you going to trade Briggs? I think that you're going to trade Briggs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that's 19 premiums. You've also said you're planning on finishing with 5 as your F6. So yeah, I still wouldn't consider 5 a premium, even if you're hoping to end with him. 5 is not a premium. I'm sorry, Jono. He just is not. Yeah, okay. I already like what you said your trades were going to be. You're just having us look at your team just to flex. You're just flexing on us, Jono. Hope Wardlaw holds his spot. Love the way he plays. 100%. Wardlaw is keeping his spot. There's no doubt about that, Kent. Wardlaw is the warlord on a warpath. He's absolutely killing it. Johnson to track, Ford to Marriage, Humphrey to Clary, and Briggs to Sheldrick. Yeah. I like all of that. That's all wonderful, sensational. Was there anybody else who asked me to look at their team? I think it's just you two people. Just you two, Jen and Jono. Cool, excellent. I have done my. Oh, all right, Jimmy. Can you start up my team name Hoppers? Yes, sure. Managed to sneak it in there. He managed to sneak it in there, mate. Hoppers. Name is Jimmy. Is it just called Hoppers? Is it James? Is Jimmy just a nickname for James? Please let me know, Jimmy. Top one? Okay, great. Thanks. Okay. Let's have a look. Good ranking. All right. So we're looking at Tommy Stewart, Dacos, Sinclair, Chincotta, Comfortable, Mullen, Dawson Ridley. Oh, Ridley. A Ridley owner. I love it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 primo team plus keys. Very cool. Very, very cool. How much money in the bank, Jimmy? And how many trades? Ford. Can't believe you don't have Briggs. How do you not have Briggs, bro? Like, come on, Jimmy. Really? Briggs is like the GOAT. And you don't have Briggs. Gee, you missed a trick there. So how many, what else do you need? So what do you need? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you still need a defender primo. 6 trades left. Oh, wait, that's for Jonas. Sorry, Jonas. Yeah, I'll get to you. So you still need a defender primo. Right? No. You can send Will Day back there. All right, so Will Day comes on for Chincotta. All right, so you got a full defensive line. This week I've done 4 to Marriage and Steele to Oliver. 4 trades left. Very cool. Keep an eye out though if Oliver plays. You might have to flip that to Petrarca instead. 129k in the bank after that. Very nice. Very nice. You still then will need one more premium, I think. And then you can have keys be that cover. Would be sick. Would be awesome if that was the case. You could do that. So you got a full defensive back line. Dunk should probably be forward, as should Rosie, as should Goulden. So these 3 should be forward to replace these 3. Very cool. Oliver been named, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's cool. So they can replace these 3. Cool. So that means you still need then to replace those 3. So this is going to be Oliver. Now these, so Goulden, Rosie, and Dunks would all be moved forward. So you still need three primo mids then to replace them. But you've got Laird and Merritt. So that's 2. So you still need 1 more primo mid, I reckon, after that. And that primo mid could be Neil. Boom. Yes. On you, Jimmy. On you, Jimmy. I like that. We've worked it out, and I give you a tick of approval. That is very good. Congrats. Alrighty. Next person to have a look. No need to take a look at mine. I've branded enough. You're a funny one, Anthony. You're a funny one. I think I can keep Sicily. I think you can, Jono. I think you can. Maverick. Sorry, I just tuned in. Mate, you managed to sneak in right on time. We were just about to finish up. Is everyone trading Sicily? He'll be a nice pod for those who hold. Yes, he would be a nice pod, but I think he should be a trade. I think it should be a trade. He's going to miss the next 3 weeks. So you'll be missing out on a lot of points that you could otherwise get from cashing in his money now. And then he'll have to go on some insane run at the end of the year to make up for all the points lost. I think he's a trade, Maverick, personally. All right, Joe. Team name, Prostitutes. Am I surprised that you've got an interesting name? All righty, Jonas. 6 trades left. Overall rank 155. He's killing it. Can you make a YouTube channel so I can subscribe to you? All right. So we've got Stuart, Sinclair, Himmelberg. This guy! You've got Himmelberg and you're calling us sheeple for picking him. Unbelievable. Weddle, Seamus, Chincona. All right. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 premiums you've got. So you still need 2 more premiums on your list. You've got 6 trades for 2 premiums. It's doable. You're obviously going to have Darcy Cameron back here where Eddie Ford is by swimming that. So your forward line is full. Your ruck line is full. Zach Merritt comes on for Constable. It's so cute that you have Constable on field. Hopeful that he's going to play. That's very funny. So Constable, Merritt. So you still need someone to trade in, someone to take Humphrey's spot. And someone to take one of these rookie spots. So you still need a defensive primo and a midfield primo. So I still need a defensive primo and a midfield primo. With 6 trades left. You've got Stuart, Sinclair. Who else are you missing? Where's Dawson? You don't have Dawson? Wow. You don't have Dawson. 573k. You can get Dawson. You got Weddle. Get Dawson, bro. I reckon you need Dawson to just the crown on top for your defense. And then that last midfield primo. Where's Tom Green? Did you trade out Tom Green, Jonas? Wow, okay. Interesting. The midfield primo can be anyone you can afford, basically. And the defender primo should be Dawson. My 2 cents. Yeah. That's what I thought. Last time I checked about Clary is that he had to pass some tests still. Got cover with Chesser, bro. The only thing Chesser's covering is the extended interchange on West Coast Eagles team sheets. That's probably the only thing he's covering there. Is Darcy Cameron worth bringing in? I think so, Jimmy. I think he is. Root out 4th 129. Thank you for the score update, Jono. Alrighty. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will officially do us. Stayed for an extra 20 minutes, longer than what I had anticipated because I didn't go through the teams. Thank you, everyone, for asking me to review the teams. You are very welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight on this fine Monday evening. Looking forward to seeing all of you in the next one. Please chuck us a like if you've had some fun today. Give us also a subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you're new, if you're not, I still love you anyway. Thank you to everybody. Jess, I couldn't cover a baby's blanket. Jonas, I have to thank you, bro. I have to thank you for you've been so funny, mate. Jono, you're welcome. Anthony, you're welcome. Jono, again, you're welcome. Jimmy, have a good night to you too. Good to see you. Hopefully we get to see a bit more of you in the coming weeks. Jen, you are very welcome. Thank you, all of you. Love you all to bits. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.